Mixtapes and DVDs is my era.
Facts.
We did it better.
Yep.
Pelly leathers,
Facts.
ACG boots. We 80s babies and early 90s when it got grimy. I was out of this world, you could not find me unless you check the lobby. Hustling was my hobby. We was lobby boys before Jim Jones. You could catch me in Harlem eating Jimbos. DVD Era TV back at y'all with another one. Y'all know the slogan. Let's get straight into this one. Now, Lodi Mack was an affiliate of G Unit, and from the looks of things, he was very close with Tony Yayo out of everyone. Now, in the DVD era, Lodi Mack played the position of being a muscle with G Unit, and he went against anybody that was going against G Unit at the time. And when G Unit was beefing heavy with Bang Up Smurf, Lodi Mack would be on the front line.
I don't respect Lodi Mack anyway because he was banging with 50 and then when I was banging up against him, so I really don't care about him anyway.
And it's also said when Tony Yayo ran down on Benzino in Miami, Lodi Mack was the one to pull out a gun on Benzino.
Yayo jumped out and was like, yo, what's up? His man jumps out the back. His man's Lodi Mack. And he flashed the gun. He didn't pull it out.
Now, supposedly, Lodi Mack was a big homie in the Bloods, and I believe Lodi Mack was from the Bronx. Or maybe Far Rock. Now, all my DVD Era TV gang, jump in the comment section and let me know exactly where Lodi Mack was from if I'm wrong. Now, I done did plenty videos on G-Unit beef with Jimmy Henchman and how it started and what triggered things off to make Jimmy Henchman really get on G-Unit heels. So go stroll through my playlist and look at them videos if you don't know how this beef started and what really triggered Jimmy Henchman off. Now, in March 2007, things had taken a turn for the worse. Now, it was reported that Tony Yayo smacked the 14-year-old son of Jimmy Henchman. Now, at this time, Chris Lighty, a Violator who was managing 50 Cent, had an office up the block from Jimmy Henchman, and supposedly G-Unit would be outside and someone from the G-Unit entourage would smack Jimmy Henchman's 14-year-old son. Now, it's said that Jimmy Henchman's son may have been wearing a Czar Entertainment shirt or a G-Unit shirt. Now, as I mentioned before, reports would say it would be Tony Yayo that smacked Jimmy Henchman's 14-year-old son, but later on it would come out that it was actually Lodi Mack, a G-Unit affiliate, that did the smacking. Now, supposedly, after Jimmy Henchman's son was smacked, he'd go to his father's office and let him know. Now, after Jimmy Henchman found out his son was smacked, he would gather up some of his guys, go back outside to look for the G-Unit members, but they couldn't find anyone. But they're running the Chris Lighty family, Mike Lighty, and cut his face. Now, Lodi Mack would take full responsibility for smacking Jimmy Henchman's son, and later would be sentenced to 9 months in jail for it. Now, as far as Tony Yayo, he did get most of his charges dropped and ended up getting 10 days community service. Now, while Lodi Mack was serving his bid, Jimmy Henchman would have some people of his go to the facility to basically see Lodi Mack and point him out and have something done to him. But when they spoke to the guards of this facility, they said Lodi Mack was very popular and he had already left. Now, with that hit on Lodi Mack being unsuccessful, Jimmy would come up with another plan. And this plan basically was for Jimmy Henchman to have one of his people call Lodi Mack's lawyer and pose to be a mutual friend of Lodi Mack. Basically calling Lodi Mack's lawyer to get in contact with Lodi, saying that he's a mutual friend of Lodi Mack. And basically that mutual friend sent him to get in contact with Lodi Mack because he wanted to look out for him, being that he just came home from jail. So that could have been money, a place to stay, anything to put him back on his feet. And just so happened when they called Lodi Mack's lawyer, Lodi Mack was actually in the office with his lawyer, and he spoke to this person thinking this was a person his comrade sent because he just came home from jail to look out for him. Now, Lodi Mack will be in contact with this person, and this person actually convinced Lodi Mack to meet him in the Bronx, not too far from where his sister stayed. Now, when Lodi Mack went to meet up with the shooter in the Bronx, the shooter that Jimmy Henchman sent will have a potato chip bag. Inside that potato chip bag, he'll have a 22 with a silencer and his hand in the potato chip bag, acting like he eating potato chips. And as Lodi Mack approached him, the shooter would just start shooting Lodi Mack. Lodi Mack will realize he was hit and try to run, but he didn't make it. Now, it's two things I want to say. The shooter that Jimmy Henchman sent was pretending to be one of Lodi Mack's homies he was locked up with, friend. You get what I'm saying? And that friend that Lodi Mack was locked up, I believe his name was Biggs. And the shooter that Jimmy Henchman sent was pretending to be a friend of that blood homie from jail by the name of Biggs. So you get what I'm saying? Lodi Mack felt like that was his friend from jail that he probably had a good relationship with, friend. And you know, when you're in jail, you do favors for one another. So being that he was coming home, He felt like that really was his homie from jail friend, and he was trying to look out for him. But in my personal opinion, I think Lodi Mack should have got in contact with that friend to make sure he sent somebody to look out for him. You get what I'm saying? But you know, when you just come home from jail, you be doing bad and you be desperate. But you know, he should have wrote him a letter, got somebody to visit him to make sure that he sent somebody to look out for him. You get what I'm saying? Instead of just going into that situation blinded. Now, another thing, I feel like Lodi Mack shouldn't even needed no help. You get what I'm saying? Being that he was running with G Unit, putting in work for G Unit, and he ended up in jail behind G Unit. So Yayo and 50 should have been taking care of him. So he shouldn't have been in a desperate state where he needed any help because he got rich homies. But y'all jump in my comment section and let me know how y'all feel. Tell me what's on your mind.
At the end of the day, you know what? If I slap your kid, you gonna go all out too.
But anyway, if you're a fan of these old hip-hop stories, tell a friend to tell a friend about my page. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. More content coming, and I'm out. 1.